Hello, this is Glenn Verner. Today I've got a Microsoft Surface Book with a cracked screen. Now the touchscreen, the LCD, Digitizer still work on this laptop, but as I understand it, it's much easier just to replace it as an assembly. So that's what we're going to do. So here's the laptop. Let's see what we can do with it. Detach it. Shut it down. I think we'll probably start up here where all the broken stuff is. Get in there, see what we're looking at. Get an idea what's going on. I'm gonna heat it up. Hair dryer. So I think what we want to do is just get under the edge all the way around, separating the glue. The glass. I'm getting both the metal and the glass hot. Okay, we'll try from a different angle, see if we can get any better look at this as we're working our way around the screen. See, we're starting to get this to come up some. Okay, we're getting there. I don't really want to pull it up. I want to get it all loose all the way around first. There's some ribbon cables in here, I would think, yeah. Okay, so there it opened up. And let's see how we get these ribbon cables off. So these cable covers are supposed to come off. Just snap on there. I don't know. Guess it just snaps on there. And I guess this will work the same way, hopefully. came off. And that separates the screen. So this piece, this piece will need to be reused and attached to the new board. Now that it's glued on, so we'll remove the cables and we'll do the same thing. We'll heat it up and we'll try to get that glue loose and pry this off the board. These cables have just a small little clip that holds the cable like a snap, holds it in place. If you slide under it, you can pop it up. Hard to see, it's small. Then the cable slides out easily. Once you snap that up. We'll also have to reuse these little, I think these are for the fan, direction of the air. They'll need to be reused. Then it's the same drill. So, getting this screen apart took just about an hour. If you have better tools, better splungers, it'll be easier also. Be careful if you're using metal tools like I did. You're not really worried about the screen if it's broken, but you can damage the finish on the edges of your screen. Like I had a few nicks up in this corner. So it's really easier when the screen's not broken to get it apart, because wherever it's broken, you got to restart and you're picking the glass out of the adhesive, and so it takes more time. An unbroken piece, you get started, you got the heat gun going, and it goes rather quickly. Your screen's not broken that much. You want to probably get started near the speakers. At each of these upper corners, there's a little cutout. See, it's a spot where you might be able to get in there and get started easier on an unbroken screen, or it's not broken that much. Also, the top seems to be more give in the frame at the top to get under. You just got to get underneath that glass and get it lifted. And you don't need to go as deep as I did. Here on the edges, you really don't have any more than a 1/4 inch that you got to go deep, except for maybe at the top. The top might be a little deeper. You've got to be careful about the bottom. You don't want to damage these cables. If you do, it's over. You need a new motherboard. Also, don't lift up. Don't pull it up on the bottom first. You want to come up, lift it up on the top first. So at this point, I've got it apart, and I'm going to go order my screen. Now that I know what I'm looking at, I know where the cables are. I need the model number of my computer, which was a 1703, 1704, and I found several, half dozen people selling these on eBay. The numbers don't exactly match. When I'm, looking at pictures and stuff, they don't exactly match. They do say they're going to fit the model number. Also, the screen resolution's the same, the 2000 by 3000 resolution. There's like a half dozen of them selling between like $225 to $260. They all seem about the same. Most of the ratings are good, so I'm just picking them. I'm picking out someone by their. Probably the most important thing is, how far are they going to ship it? How long do I want to wait for it? A lot of them are coming from Hong Kong or China. So lower price ones typically are going to come, from Hong Kong or China. The ones that might be a little higher price might be a little closer. You might get them in a couple of days. Or you can pay more to get them quicker. So I picked out some with a pretty high, like 99.9 rating, feedback rating on eBay. They were shipping out of Canada, like $223. I ordered it, got here, and I opened up the box, and it was damaged in shipping. So they had no problem giving me a return on it right away. Actually, it came much quicker than I thought. I got it in like 3 days. I was shocked it came that quickly, but it was broken. So I've sent it back, and I'm waiting for it. So what I'm going to do in the meantime, I did order some adhesive, a VHB 4905, 4mm wide. Oh, and I did want to show you one other thing. I do have another problem with this, in that this unit actually was bent. And if you can see it, I've straightened it out some, but it was bent up in this area. There's still, you can see there's a slight bend in it. So I'm going to see if I can clean off this adhesive. Got a wood chisel, I've got a razor blade. I'm going to see what works for me. So to get it started, seems like I can pull it off not too difficultly. So that's a magnet in there. Okay. Oh, so it must be the magnet. That must be for holding on the pen. So we've got our new boards come in, and we get out of the package. And this one looks good this time. The last time this ribbon cable was actually ripped off on the previous one we got. So we can see this one looks pretty much the same as the original. They look identical to me. So what we want to do is try this out. We don't want to put any glue on it right now. We want to try it out, see if it works. Make sure it's not damaged. Check for missing pixels. See if everything works before we get the glue out and the adhesive tape. So we've got this little board up here. Now these little connectors, they kind of flip up. So we get the cable. Oh yes, there's a little, actually the tiniest little, right here, a little piece that has to actually go over, it looks like. And the motherboard connectors, these are like a push-on. Trying to find the right spot for it. It clips in, snaps in. Be careful that it's in the right position before you. It doesn't take much pressure for them to clip in. You don't want to force them, you'll break something now. Okay, so they're all snapped in place. Hold it over. Again, no glue on it at this point. No adhesives, no glue. Just want to put it in place, see that it's fitting. And we'll turn it on. It says surface. Seems like I had to reboot it. It's trying to start. So it seems to be working. I don't know the best way to test it. The screen is good. I mean, the touch screen is working. Well, as far as I can tell, everything's working fine. I don't know of a particular way to test it. It's looking good to me, so we'll shut it off and get the glue and the tape out. So I'm going to take it back apart and disconnect those cables and put the screen aside while I put the tape on it. So this piece is also glued down. And this is using some kind of a glue that actually is conductive, electrically conductive. I don't know how important it is. I think you probably could get away with just leaving it there, sticking it down with the old glue. But I've got some glue I'm going to try. So I want to reattach this board a little more permanent. So I'm going to take it off and clean it up. Flip these up again. Now the back of these ribbon cables, they have a tape on them, so they stick down. So it looks like I should be pulling that plastic cover off of that so it sticks down. I'm going to glue this down with a electrically conductive glue. And now this is what I got, wire glue, electrically conductive. I think there's better stuff, but this is what I was able to get quickly. And I'm going to use it to glue this board down. And I'm going to use the kind of place it where the wires, where the ribbons like it to be. I'm not going to worry about it exactly where it was before, but it should be pretty close. I'm going to put it where these ribbons like it to be. So I had to come back here and make sure this is clean, these connections, because I put way too much glue on there. I had like twice as much glue as I needed. So I had to come back and make sure we didn't get these things shorted out, because it is conductive glue. So on top of the board, we don't want it. Take these ribbons off, and they've got plastic over some glue. I'm pulling those plastic pieces off. So I think after that I need to do a second test. So you'll see the surface there. We're able to log in. Still seems to be working. Screen touch is still working. Okay. I'm going to transfer a couple more parts over. Hopefully this will continue to stick. So we'll clean this up before we put the tape back on it. Using some denatured alcohol. So I've looked at 3 different tapes. This is the one I originally started with. So I just call this a standard tape. All 3 of these are from 3M. So this is the one I tried first, and it did not hold that laptop together. This is the edge where we've got this fan that actually pushes up a little pressure from the foam. There's some foam under that fan that pushes up and lifts, separates the screen from the frame. So I put a piece of tape right here using both of these and tested them. So when I tried the 300 LSE, I put it here. I put it overnight, 24 hours overnight with a weight on it. Then I let it set, and within 2 hours I had some separation. Very little separation, just a very little separation, but it was lifting. I did the same thing with the VHB tape. Overnight with weight on it, left it off for a few hours, and it did not lift at all. So this is the tape we need to go with to hold us together. The bad thing about this tape, it'll be very difficult to get it apart if you got to get back in there. And it may be impossible to get it apart without breaking it. We've got 2 magnets here. The white dot goes on the inside. And we don't want to cover up these speakers. I'm not going to go all the way out to the end here because this frame has a bend in it here. So I'm going to because this is kind of a high point, here, I'm not going to put the tape there just to reduce how much the screen has to bend. Use the same tape on the speaker, but just offset it. And on the top, I'm going to run the second 4mm, and I'll go up to the sensors. Now I've got the tape done. I'm going to hook up the ribbon cables and give this a test before I actually glue it together. Connect the cables. These snap in place. You kind of feel it getting the position. Press them into place. You can kind of feel when they're in position. And snap them in, make sure they're in. They should snap in very easily, but make sure they're down. Now we have these little metal plates that were on here. Snap those on. And it looks like we're ready to put it together. Now we're just going to turn it on, see if it still works. I see, at least I get to see the service starting. That's a good sign. It recognized me. The battery's low. Okay, shut it down. Now we've got this one piece. I think this is part of the infrared sensor. It just seems to set in place. Don't want to forget this part. This has looks like little legs on it on this side, and they go down into place. I want to work that tape a little away from these cameras, just in case they're getting in there, getting too close. Okay, so I think we're ready to put it together. I better not be forgetting anything. This piece, I've got my two magnets. I think we're ready. Worked. Everything looks snapped and everything looks like it's snapped in place well. Again, this glue is strong. I'm thinking once this goes together, it's not gonna be easy to get it apart. Take off this lower one first. This is a tough tape to deal with. The standard tape was very easy to work with. Okay, they're all started now. Our infrared is in place, magnets in place. Everything looks good. Turn it on again. Make sure it's still working. Okay, it's coming up. Again, once this glue is not going to be easy to get apart. Make sure we're inside the frame all the way around. So now I'll put a weight on this for 24 hours, holding it in place, and then we'll think we're going to be good. Thanks for watching my video.